Hello there! Since the last video, I've been hanging around in these islands, and I gotta say, I love them. I'm really proud of how this build came out. I talked about it a lot in the last video, but this is an excellent start to the base, I think. And today, we're gonna continue with the base. Since the last video, I have done an insane amount of grinding here. Each of these chests is a separate item. That's a chest full of moss blocks. All of these are filled with dirt, some dripstone, packed mud, rooted dirt, all different blocks I could need. I don't actually need this much cobblestone. I just put the extra chest instead in case I did, but that's all I actually need for the build we're going to do today. And I've got all the materials I will need to build the next part of the base. Now this is the bounding box of basically the entire size of the main base island. The actual structure in its entirety will actually be taller than this and probably be taller than that as well, but this is just the part of the base that I have built so far and in a schematic here. Today, I'm only going to be building the main island because, if I'm honest, it's going to be an insane grind and it's going to take me ages to do the full base because I just have to collect all the resources and then the building time itself takes a while too. I'll give you a little bit of a sneak peek of kind of the scale of this. That's the kind of scale we're looking at. That's not the full thing, but that's the kind of size and shape we're looking at. But first, I'm actually running low on dripstone and rooted dirt. For the rooted dirt, I actually need to get some hanging vines, so I'll do that really quick. It's pretty easy to make a little farm. Just do it like so, and so now I just sit here and shear each block. There's probably some kind of crazy automatic farm you can make, but this is just what I've come up with. I only need a couple stacks, so I don't need a crazy automatic farm right now. Maybe there's another method that's a little bit faster, because that does seem a little bit slow, doesn't it? So, would something like this be faster, where I have a row of them, and then I go ahead and bone meal them all? Then switch out to the shears and just go along and mine them all. That feels a little bit faster to me. This is giving me an idea for some kind of farm that you can do with this. In an automatic farm, you could totally have like rails going along here, right? So you have rails on one side where you bone meal them all, and then you have rails that take you down a block on the other side and you shear them all away. Quite a cool idea for an automatic farm, I think. Obviously, it's not fully automatic because it still needs some player input, but any kind of farm for these routes will need some player input because you need to mine them. Now, foolishly, I've included quite a lot of the rooted dirt blocks in this build, and they're quite hard to get. You can create automatic farms for rooted dirt because whenever you plant an azalea tree, you get a total of 1 rooted dirt beneath the block you plant it on, but it takes a very, very long time to do so. So the easiest way to get it, I find, is just to go out and find these azalea trees in the wild. They normally generate with a lot of rooted dirt underneath. It looks like I've already done that one. Here's another one though, here, because there's a massive lush cave right underneath this place here. I've exhausted that azalea tree now. Let's see if there's any other ones around here somewhere. Oh yeah, and if you notice that my shovel is now blue, that's because I broke it during one of my grinding sessions. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to my durability at all, and my netherite shovel is now gone. So I'm gonna have to go get another netherite shovel at some point, because destroying the natural environment is what us builders do best in Minecraft. Okay, well I'm now in a lush cave, but I think it's actually pretty good that I came here because I think I will need some of them spore blossoms for the build. Oh! Wow, okay, did I get the thing? I did. Inch closer towards it, and it dropped. But they both should be down here. Oh, there's a skeleton. Did I get them? I got them, I got them, I got them, I got them. Okay, I need to get out of here. Oh, there's 2 more. Ah! I had 161 levels. Oh, I had 161 levels. Oh, there's another creeper down there. I didn't bring anything with me. Okay, I feel like I will be out of their range if I just sprint over there. Okay. Okay, they haven't noticed me. They haven't noticed me. They haven't noticed me. You know what? I don't think I need those 2 spore blossoms down there. I'll get them another time. Okay, that's probably enough rooted dirt now. Now I need to do the same thing again, but for dripstone. I need about 10 stacks of the blocks and about 6 stacks of the pointed dripstone, so let's go and mine some. Oh, wow. That is amazing. I still can't get over how good the terrain generation is sometimes. Look at that. That is incredible. Okay, let's get to work. When I'm resource grinding like this, I have an interesting setup in my inventory. I normally have my resources I want to get like this. So if I have a specific amount I want to collect, I set out the amount of stacks I need, and then basically I can just mine and mine without even thinking, and then whenever either of these pop up in my hotbar, I know that I filled all the stacks in my inventory. So I never have to open my inventory and check how many I have. Okay, that's enough dripstone blocks then, because it popped up in my inventory. I can just focus on getting the rest of the pointed dripstone that I need. And we're done. Now I've got all the materials I'm gonna need. Now it's just time to actually build this thing. Villagers are a really good source of EXP, huh? That just repaired all of my armor and pretty much all of my tools. I never really realized how good villagers were at giving you EXP. Ooh, mini pumpkins. Actually, they would be really, really cool for those islands. They're cute. I quite like them. Now I just need to get the mini carved pumpkins, and that'll be complete. And the mini melons as well. Would you look at that? That time lapse you just watched represents about 3 days of real life building here to make this. We have a bowl now. We have a massive bowl to eat our cereal out of. The reason it's not fully filled in is because all I did today was the kind of terraforming and the natural part of this. The rest of the middle here is all like flooring. So that's kind of what the floor is going to look like for the interior, but I'm not doing the interior today. As I said in the previous video, this is going to be quite a big task and we're going to be chipping away at it in the upcoming videos. Another detail I haven't added yet is all the hanging vines and dripstone and rooted dirt. I think that kind of just completes the look. It's basically the same kind of aesthetic I have on these other islands. You know, these ones also have the dripstone and the rooted dirt on them. So there are a few details that I haven't finished off yet, but this is kind of where I want to be today. And, well, I mean, I gotta say, I'm quite proud of what I've done so far. Now, how about we build that farm that I came up with earlier on in the video? I think I have pretty much everything I need in here, and might need a few more rails, though. I'm pretty sure you can buy redstone from these guys, right? Yes. Brilliant. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of wing this farm, I think. Where should we put it? Maybe over here, because we're coming off this diagonal. Yeah, we'll put it somewhere over here. I kind of want to add a little bit more verticality to this base, so what if I made this farm a bit higher up in the sky? Because all the other islands right now are lower than the main base island, so it would be quite interesting to have an island that was maybe a little bit higher up. I guess this area over here could be for all the kind of more manual farms, because this one I'm building right now is going to be very manual. What's that looking like? Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, I'm going to want some kind of platform now. And I think about 16 blocks of rooted dirt should do it. Okay, so the bottom level will need to be hoppers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then I think we want to place the rooted dirt 1 block above, because obviously below will be the roots themselves. Okay, so that's a good height for bone mealing the blocks. And then at the other side, we want one that's 1 block lower for harvesting the actual roots. I don't want it to go too fast, because I don't want the player to have to think too quickly, because obviously this is a slightly manual farm. We want it to We want the player to be able to have at least some reaction to what's going on. So now, in theory, if I grab the bone meal and the shears, this farm should be working. And then... Okay, this might be a little bit too fast. I'm kind of getting a little bit overwhelmed here sometimes. And I'm definitely not bone mealing it when I should be. The idea is you shouldn't have to change your Y level at all. I think this idea is good, but flawed. I've come up with maybe a better idea for this. One issue I had there in that test was I was constantly having to turn my camera, but if I can come up with a design where I stay facing the same way, bone meal, bone meal, bone meal, bone meal, then it drops you down, shear, 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 and then you come back up. That would be a better design, I think. Mark 2 of this farm is now been made. Let's see if this is better. I should only have to click now. I shouldn't have to. Just gotta angle your mouse in the correct way. The only reaction I should have to do is actually just time when I click. Oh, this is brilliant. This design is good, I think. I think I've come up with something good here. And then obviously I just need to have all the bone meal ready. Of course, I want some good shears to be able to make sure they don't break very easily. Let's see how much I got in here. Just under 4 stacks, that's pretty good. Obviously this farm needs a few like finishing touches on it. I might want to surround this with glass so none of the rooted dirt actually spills off the side here. But like the general basis of this farm I think is pretty good and pretty freaking simple. Okay, I can't find any glass, I'm just going to use trapdoors instead. It's probably cheaper to be honest. Okay, that should result in less spilling of the rooted dirt over the side. I keep calling these rooted dirt. These are hanging roots. This is rooted dirt. Oh, it feels very satisfying when you actually come up with a farm design and get one working yourself. Like when you come up with your own designs for stuff. Like that's the kind of satisfaction I get from building, but I don't often design my own farms and stuff, but it is very satisfying when you do, and my shears broke. Very, very cool, and definitely a necessary farm because I'm gonna need a lot of these rooted dirt. I keep calling it rooted dirt. I'm gonna need a lot of these hanging roots for all the builds of this base, because they all have that same style to them, and I mean, I'm gonna need some for this build as well. I'm gonna have to design an island for this now to actually sit on, because otherwise it's just a weird farm floating in the air. So for this farm, I'm doing a very similar style to the previous farm islands I did, just because I thought it fit the farm that's inside. The hanging roots are that kind of browny, creamy colour, so that whole colour palette kind of just matches them. I started off making a kind of wireframe for this just to kind of guide me on how big the whole build was going to be, and then I started filling in the gaps with dirt. Eventually I made it up to the top, where I took the top of the build over the farm, using the podzol as the kind of grass layer of this. And then I thought, well, where do roots come from? Well, they come from plants and trees, right? So what would be an appropriate build to put on top of this island to distinguish it from the others? How about a hollowed out log? That sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? So that's exactly what I did. I combined dark oak, spruce, and the new mangrove wood into one hollowed out log to kind of be the centerpiece and the entrance to the farm on this island. Well, that is brilliant, huh? I really like how this island came out. Honestly, so far, this base is turning out really, really, really cool. And as I said earlier, this build was entirely on the fly, basically. I didn't plan this at all, so I think it's pretty good for literally building without any kind of plan. In between that montage and now, I've added a bit of extra detail to this thing. I've added some dead bushes here, which I think fit in the colour palette very well. I originally was going to do like grass and ferns and stuff, but I think the green is just too bright for this kind of build with the podzol and stuff. And I've also done quite a bit of texturing and extra detail on the bottom there. there. I like these roots hanging down because that's what I want out of these builds. I want them to be themed very much so after the farms that are going to be contained within them. It has come to my attention after I built this farm that there are definitely better ways to harvest these rooted dirt. You can definitely do better farms with like dispensers and stuff and bone meal, but I wanted to try and build my own thing, so that's why I did kind of an unconventional farm there. I've done another little update to these islands. I've replaced all the grass and ferns with dead bushes because I just think it looks a lot better. Additionally, I would like to add a bunch of smaller islands like this. I think that really adds to the vibe. Over here, I really love what I did with the tiny islands. It just makes it look like these bits of land are like more, you know, segmented and cracked up and stuff. I really like that vibe, so I think adding a bunch of these tiny islands is a really good idea for this base. I could even add like strings of them that you can like parkour over, you know, to kind of traverse around the base in more interesting ways. But actually, we're not done with this video yet. As the thumbnail and title might suggest, I want to add a little bit of infrastructure to this world, to this base. And I want to mark out where I want to put some towers. I want some nice wooden towers that will help me get around the base quite easily and hopefully use less rockets while getting around. And the reason they're wood is because, delving a little bit more into the lore here, all the stuff that's kind of made out of wood that has more what I'd call modern architecture in this world is canonically built by me. So I've installed these because I'm having some trouble traversing around this base, so I need to install these to be able to go around the base more easily. They look good, I think. They're good positions for the first 4 towers here. Let's go install them, shall we? So they're kinda cool, aren't they? I really like this design. Yeah, it's kinda obviously inspired by the towers from Breath of the Wild, but that game is one of my prime inspirations for like art and building in general. Definitely inspired by the Sheikah Towers, but I have took a few of my own design choices here. Obviously, to translate them into Minecraft, I had to build them out of wood, and they're a bit thinner than they are in Zelda. But I'm envisioning these being dotted around the base, and they're a way that my character has made to actually be able to traverse this base, because I've been thinking about the lore a bit, and I may have said this already in some of the time-lapse segments, but I think the people who lived here, these ancient builders, the reason that they lived on these islands is because, well, they could fly. And, well, as a Minecraft player, I can't fly. Well, I can with the Elytra, but that's more falling with style. So as a way to be able to traverse this place that I've found that is not the easiest place to traverse, and the actual build is designed in that way, so it's definitely not human traversable without some kind of outside help. And there's a llama here for some reason. What are you doing here? Who are you? Did a wandering trader spawn up here and the llamas fell? Did he fall? He isn't here anymore, so maybe he fell. Yeah, this base isn't exactly wandering trader safe. But man, I'm actually having so much fun just flying around this, like, just being able to, like, weave your way around the different things. This is the exact kind of, like, gameplay that I imagined for this base, and I'm so excited to get the actual structure in here. That is going to be the next step. But yeah, and I haven't really shown you how these things function yet. It's quite an eloquent design, I think. It's just a bubble column. The whole build here is basically just housing for a bubble column, but I think it's pretty effective. But in case you don't want to use the bubble column, or you want to somehow get down to some of the other platforms, you have ladders on either side. This was for 2 reasons. One, because I wanted you to be able to climb up the towers like you do in Breath of the Wild, and also, yeah, so you can get down to the lower platforms if you need to. But every platform has these doors so you can enter the bubble column and get up to the top from whatever level you come in at. One cool thing I did to these is I put a spore blossom inside each one, which obviously creates these particles, which I think is really nice. And that was trying to emulate the kind of organic technology that Breath of the Wild has. It kind of has that cool, chicer particles and stuff. So I kind of wanted some kind of movement and particles up here, like they're kind of giving off some kind of energy. I basically based these designs on the fact that I may not always have rockets on me, but I will probably always have the elytra on me. And if I don't even have the elytra, you can still swim over to the bottom here and get up. That was my main worry when making a floating base, but I think I've definitely solved that problem with the entrance here and these towers as well. I'm very happy with what I built today. Next time, we'll be continuing with the base. We'll be building the first part of the actual structure on top of there, and I have a couple of other things planned too, so stick around for that. And well, yeah, I'll see you then.